In 1957, amidst McDonald's meteoric rise, a little-known Florida startup called Instaburger fought to stay afloat. But this underdog would defy the odds, transforming into the global empire we now know as Burger King. Their incredible journey involved smashing their own equipment and a secret sauce stolen from their rivals. Get ready for a roller coaster ride through the wild world of burgers and betrayal. In 1952, America was in the grip of a car hop craze. McDonald's, the fast food pioneers, cracked the code with their speedy service system. Lines of eager customers formed around the block, while Keith Kramer and Matthew Burns, hungry for success, embarked on a pilgrimage to the Mecca of fast food. Inspired by McDonald's, they unlocked the secrets of mass food production with the miracle Insta machines. And thus, Instaburger, later known as Burger King, was born. But fate had a twist in store. In 1953, while laying the foundations of their first restaurant, Keith and Matthew encountered David Edgerton, who mistakenly thought it was a Dairy Queen. Intrigued, he witnessed the miraculous miracle Insta machines and decided to join forces. David's idea to rename the company Instaburger King, complete with a regal logo, added prestige and uniqueness. With the doors flung open in April 1953, Instaburger King took its first steps towards a bright future. But beware, investing in their franchise was a recipe for financial disaster. Instaburger King's service system left customers frustrated. Ordering involved multiple windows, upfront payment, and presenting numbered tickets. The founders believed customers would adapt, but the system was poorly designed. The unreliable Instabroiler machines hindered speed, a key selling point, and the burgers were priced higher than competitors. Keith and Matthew struggled with their Jacksonville restaurant, while David faced similar challenges in Miami. David, unable to afford more stores, sought a partner. After approaching several restaurateurs without success, he connected with James McLemore, our final protagonist. James McLemore's early life was marred by adversity. His family's wealth was lost in the stock market crash, and he endured the loss of his grandfather and his mother's psychiatric hospitalization. Forced to sell possessions after a farm fire, James persevered, graduating from Cornell University in 1947. He opened the Brickell Bridge restaurant in Miami, which generated a modest profit. It was during this time that James encountered David Edgerton, the first franchisee of Burger King. David approached James to partner in opening more Burger King stores. They shared the vision of establishing a chain of fast food restaurants for greater financial success. David's claim of profitability intrigued James, who requested to see the financial statements. However, the disorganized records revealed a 56% loss, but James remained captivated by the partnership idea. He believed in the model, justified the initial costs, and valued David's integrity and hard work. James sold his Brickell Bridge restaurant and invested all his savings, becoming equal partners with David. Despite the current losses, James saw the potential for success. This partnership between James and David would shape Burger King's future, surpassing the original founders. However, they faced further failures. Instead of addressing operational issues and debt, they expanded to 2 new stores using James' capital infusion. This decision proved to be a critical mistake, as they should have prioritized resolving challenges before expanding. Despite acknowledging their missteps, their subsequent actions added to the confusion surrounding their decision-making. Despite being heavily in debt and burdened with unreliable Instabroiler ovens, James and David made a surprising decision with a $65,000 investment. Instead of reducing their debt, they opened 3 more locations, worsening their financial situation. However, a pivotal moment occurred when David, frustrated by yet another breakdown, smashed the malfunctioning oven with a hatchet. Amused by David's act, James realized they needed a replacement oven. Determined to create a better machine, David partnered with a local mechanic and developed a new flame broiler using gas. This innovation not only solved their reliability issues, but also introduced the signature flame-broiled flavor that defines Burger King's taste. The impulsive decision to smash the old machine led to the creation of a superior alternative. The new flame-broiled machine allowed them to consistently produce burgers without breakdowns, improving revenue generation. However, it was a controversial discovery that would ultimately drive the company towards success. After successfully implementing their new flame-broiled burger-making machine, David and James visited the original founders of Instaburger King in Jacksonville. Keith and Matthew had been struggling to understand why their concept was failing and had come up with the idea of purchasing a movable stainless steel building for their next restaurant. However, their plan didn't attract any customers, and David and James realized it was not a viable solution. During a walk around the area, James stumbled upon a rundown burger stand with a long line of customers waiting to order quarter-pound burgers on 5-inch buns with generous toppings. Impressed by the quality, James proposed creating a similar burger for their own stores and suggested the name Whopper to highlight its large size. Charging 37 cents for the Whopper was a risk, but they decided to give it a try. Their gamble paid off as the Whopper became an immediate success. The substantial patty, generous toppings, and flame-broiled flavor differentiated them in the market. Burger King of Miami experienced a remarkable increase in sales, while Keith and Matthew's original Burger King location continued to struggle. Eventually, Keith and Matthew defaulted on their loans, leading to the closure of their establishment. By 1959, the changes implemented by David and James in Miami led to a significant increase in sales. This attracted the attention of potential franchisees from other parts of the country who saw the company's potential. However, David and James were initially limited to their South Florida territory, established in their agreement with Keith and Matthew. In 1959, Keith and Matthew defaulted on their loans, and Ben Steen gained control of Burger King. James saw an opportunity and proposed taking over the ownership of the national and international franchise rights. In return, Ben would receive 15% of their earnings without being involved in operations. The deal was beneficial for both parties, granting David and James full control over the company while Ben received a share of the profits. With the new agreement in place, David and James became franchisors and made significant changes to the company. They dropped the word Insta from the name and rebranded as Burger King, home of the Whopper. Their goal was to become the top fast food franchise competing with McDonald's. In 1967, Pillsbury Company approached Burger King about a merger. James saw the potential benefits and was eager to strike a deal, while David had reservations. The merger was eventually agreed upon, with Pillsbury acquiring Burger King for $18 million. James remained as president and CEO, hoping for resources and support to compete with McDonald's. However, the merger didn't meet David and James' expectations. Pillsbury became actively involved in decision-making, leading to David's resignation in 1969. James pushed for more growth, but Pillsbury's board preferred a slower expansion until franchisee issues were resolved. James stayed with Pillsbury for some time, advocating for Burger King's growth. However, Pillsbury's cautious approach disappointed James, and he left the company in 1972. He remained a consultant and brand ambassador for Burger King until his death in 1996. The merger with Pillsbury brought some benefits but also increased involvement from the parent company. Pillsbury's cautious approach differed from James and David's ambitious expansion plans. Ultimately, the foundation for Burger King's success was laid by the determination of James and David. James believed Pillsbury could provide financing for growth or take Burger King public. David saw the merit of the merger, considering James' desire for more family time and potential support from Pillsbury. The deal required James to stay as president and CEO for at least 5 years. With increased salary and autonomy, Pillsbury verbally committed to providing resources and support. Pillsbury acquired Burger King for $18 million, and James, David, and their investor Harvey became owners of 10% of Pillsbury Company. Pillsbury's board was reluctant to take risks like McDonald's, slowing down Burger King's growth. James' departure marked the end of his direct involvement in the company. When James retired from Burger King in 1972, little did he know the empire he and David built would reach unimaginable heights. The number of Burger King restaurants nearly tripled from their sale to Pillsbury 5 years prior. While the company was successful, Pillsbury's growth plans fell short of James and David's vision. Burger King's rapid expansion had downsides, leading to inconsistency between locations. Pillsbury devised Operation Phoenix to bring consistency to the brand. Pillsbury strategically hired Donald Smith, an executive from McDonald's who brought valuable insights. Smith implemented genius tactics, including acquiring land on which Burger King stores stood to regain control and generate revenue. He expanded the menu, creating diverse flavors, and redesigned restaurants to be sleek and stylish. These changes laid the foundation for future success. However, since the merger with Pillsbury, Burger King's ownership changed hands multiple times. Investment firms like TPG Capital in 2002 acquired Burger King for $1.5 billion. The company went public in 2006, earning $425 million. The best year for Burger King was 2009, with $2.54 billion in revenue from over 12,000 outlets. The number of restaurants continued to increase, surpassing 19,000 in the following decade. So while Burger King has changed hands more times than a hot potato and game of musical chairs, let's not forget that it was James and David's unwavering determination that ignited the flame of this fast food empire. Their audacious gamble and all-in mentality transformed a faltering restaurant into a worldwide sensation. Their legacy lives on as every bite of a flame-grilled Whopper pays tribute to their pioneering spirit. And there you have it, folks. The captivating journey of Burger King from humble beginnings to a global fast food empire. We witnessed the relentless determination of James and David, the twists and turns of mergers and acquisitions, and the ever-changing landscape of the fast food industry. Burger King's story is a testament to the power of visionary entrepreneurs who dared to dream big. Remember to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our future adventures. As always, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring the captivating world of business. See you in the next video.